If you have never done a video online before, please make sure that you have the ability to pause it frequently as you write down the notes. I will move through this quickly, so please hit pause as you copy it down. Today you're going to be doing homework on ratios, and so today's lesson is, what is a ratio? A ratio is essentially a way to compare two numbers or quantities of similar units. So I'm comparing time to time, or measurement to measurement, length to length. So you want to basically have these same units. There are three ways to write a ratio. You can use the word to separate the two numbers, a colon, which is just the two dots, to separate that number, or you write it as a fraction. So let's talk about a few. Let's just take a few of these examples and write them as a ratio. Again, remember to pause this at any point in time that you need to. So I want to take and write a ratio in simplest form, reduced form, comparing 3 nonfiction books out of 1 book. So I should have had a fiction book here, so I apologize for that. 3 nonfiction books to 1 fiction book. So how would I write that? I would simply write it as 3 to 1. That would be the first form. Another form would be to use the ratio or the colon, 3 to 1. And the final way would be as a fraction, 3 over 1. Notice that the 3 always comes first, as it did in the word, in the number sentence, and that the 1 came in the end, just as it did in the number sentence. So let's try another problem. This problem is not quite as easy as it's made out to be. We have 20 minutes of exercise to 1 hour of studying. Remember what I said at the beginning is I want to compare the same units. So here I have minutes and here I have hours. Now they are both in time, but they're not the exact same units. So I can do one of two things. I can either turn this into hours or turn this into minutes. Because this is less than 1, turning this into hours over here doesn't make much sense. So my best option is to turn this into minutes. I know that 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes. So now I have 60 minutes of studying and 20 minutes of exercise. So to compare the two, I'm going to write it in 3 ways. 20 to 60, 20 colon 60, and as a fraction, 20 over 60. You know, for all of these, we have to do simplified form. That shouldn't even be a question we ask anymore. It's almost automatic. So simplified form, 20 goes into both of these. So this would be 1, 2, 3, because I could divide by 20 here and divide by 20 here. Same case here, 1 colon 3, and as the fraction, and you've been reducing fractions for a long time now, so this should not be shocking to you. All right. I apologize for that. So then this would be divided by 20, and my final answer is going to be 1 over 3. All right, let's look at this next question. 16 pepperoni pizzas out of 24 pizzas. I'm comparing pizzas to pizzas. So how many do I have? 16 out of 24. 16 to 24. 16 colon 24. Those are all 3 forms. Then just make sure you take the time to reduce them. What goes into both 16 and 24? What is the greatest common factor? I'm going to go with 8. divide both of these by 8, and I will get 2/3 here, and the same here, 2:3, and 2, 2, 3. Last but not least, ounces of butter to a pound of flour. Again, we're talking about measurements. We're measuring in ounces for butter, pounds for flour, but they need to be the same. Hopefully you remember the conversion, that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So that means that this 1 pound of flour is the same as 16 ounces of flour. And over here we have 8 ounces of butter. You go ahead and hit pause and solve it, and when you come back, we'll see if we got the same answer. You should have had 8 over 16 and then reduce that to be 1/2. If you write it in all 3 forms, you'd also have the colon and the 2. This is a very simple lesson. There is nothing else to it. Just make sure that you remember to keep the units the same and that you write them in the same order of which they are being asked. If you are finished watching this, the substitute does have your assignment for the day, so please talk to him for that. Thank you.